Hello and welcome. We start with Nigeria. Amid a worsening economic crisis, the West African nation has turned to China for support. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu will meet his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping during a visit to Beijing next week. The two leaders will be discussing cooperation on the economy, agriculture, and technology. Tinubu's agenda includes site visits to two major Chinese companies, Huawei Technologies and the China Rail and Construction Corporation. Tinubu will also meet with 10 CEOs of major Chinese companies across sectors, from oil and gas to information and communications and financial services. Tinubu, who is the chairperson of the regional bloc ECOWAS, will also be attending the China-Africa Cooperation Summit in Beijing, along with other African leaders. Now, the visit comes at a time when Nigeria is seeking investments to boost its economy, which is battling double-digit inflation, foreign currency shortages, and issues such as crude oil theft.
All right. So, what are your initial thoughts?
Yes.
Around this, yeah.
Yes, Ola, thank you very much. I think the devil are in the details that have not been expressed to the entire world to know. Mm-hmm. You think they're going to, this Sino-Nigerian trip, relationship, relations, do you think it's coming at this time that Nigeria has issues around the seizure of its presidential fleet, 3 of its planes in France by a Chinese company? So, of course, I can safely conclude that may be, a major reason, or it could be the principal reason for going to China to seek the intervention of the Communist Party bureaucracy there to make sure that these assets are released. Remember, this is a fallout of a situation, a trade dispute or business dispute between a private Chinese company and the government of Ogun State, one of Nigeria's federated states. And in this instance, we do not know if this is on the table, but I suspect it could be part of the card that will be negotiated, part of the card that will be negotiated while President Bola Tinubu is in China. The other factor that makes it so doubtful as to the transparency of Nigeria's leadership, particularly President Tinubu, in how he makes easy trips all the time overseas. Remember, we were told things when he visited places like Dubai that ended up being phony and completely insincere. When he went to Saudi Arabia, we were told things that would come from there that never really materialized. Now he's gone to China. They are listing companies again. Of course, what happens in China will stay in China because China is not a transparent society.
Of course.
And when eagle-eyed journalists or international investigators, when they begin to close in and begin to give a close-up and magnify the undisclosed mission to China here, you would see Nigerian officials having to lambast, having to issue denunciatory copies and barraging editorial rooms all over the world with anger and tantrums and all kinds of blowback. So the question to ask is, why is the government of Nigeria not putting everything on the table right now to have this direct conversation with Nigerian citizens to let us know the real agenda behind these trips? Because who goes to China? Who goes to China, a country that would enter into bilateral business relations all over the world and then they come after critical assets of the nation and do not even mind if the sovereignty of that country is compromised. Nigeria's fundamentals concerning international loan negotiations are not that strong at this time. And having exhausted and burnt all the bridges with Western countries, where they turn to now is where they think the help will come from will be towards Eastern Bloc nations like China, North Korea, and Russia. Who is Nigeria trying to spite? What is the statement what is the statement we are trying to make here? They are talking of him being the leader of a West African regional bloc and all that. In which way has that transferred real proactive economic well-being to the citizens of the sub-region, particularly Nigerians? So let us put all the cards on the table. Ola, I'll tell you, there is a confusion, there is so much opaqueness about the purpose or purposes behind this recent trip to China by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I agree with you. Because it's just such a complicated thing. I'm looking at a report here. It says Nigerian debt obligations to China surged to $5.16 billion in 2023. So there's a lot more that that we can definitely discuss around that. And I like how you linked it.
For example, I would have loved that. What would top the list of priorities for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he tours China will be the worrisome manner in which Chinese companies and employers in Nigeria, how they treat Nigerian citizens. Everybody comes into Nigeria and they put Nigerian citizens on the bottom of the ladder as if they are beggars in their country. Every Nigerian employee in all these foreign-owned or controlled interests, whether owned by India, Lebanese, Chinese, Americans, what have you, they are expected to defer to their foreign employers as boss. Yes, they pay the salaries, they pay the wages, but for God's sake, the dignity of the human person cannot but be emphasized, cannot but be considered in the context of everything that transpires between Nigeria, because it's their land of birth. Nigerians are not even asking for any entitlement. All they are saying is that respect our persons. Bola Tinubu is not putting that as a front burner. You know how many Nigerians lose their limbs, their legs, their mind, working for all these foreign interests in their own land of birth? That is not, I remember that in times past, whether under Obasanjo, Jonathan, Umaru, Musa Yar'Adua, when Odomadueke and I used to debate a lot, and he would, the then Foreign Affairs Minister of Nigeria, and at the time the Secretary of the ruling party in Nigeria, PDP then, not this APC that is in charge now. I remember how he used to talk of, and you were even seated with us one night when he told me that the focus should be citizen diplomacy. That is in everything we do, whether internationally, back home, wherever. When it comes to engagement constructively with foreign interests, the interest of the Nigerian citizen must be paramount, must be foremost. Number one on the agenda.
Chief, but what do you say when you're owing? I mean, under Tinubu alone, I think it has increased by $440 million from $4 to $5 billion, right? Well, like, they don't want let number? I don't know how to say that in English.
Well, yes, what it means, it's I mean, the word of sages of old. A debtor is always a beggar.
There you go. Yeah.
Is always a beggar. A debtor, you go into credit, you will be in sorrow.
Yeah.
Especially if it is not if it's not the productive kind of debt, because everybody taps into the low-hanging fruits everywhere, which is available
as they should.
As they should, to build their businesses and whatever.
I don't know how to say that in English either.
That's right. So you see a footstep, or what's it called, footprint. You are not eating on it. So would the wise man leave his own for you to mess with? No, he's going to clean his heart. He's going to clean his heart. What we say here, that's right. Here, the situation between Nigeria and all these foreign, what's it called? Foreign countries, they are creditors. Is the fact, yes, is the fact that what do we use the money we borrow? What this money they lend us? What do we use them for? It's just like in personal economics. You want to have funeral of your in-law, you go borrow millions. How are you going to pay back? That funeral going to generate anything? You think people will come and come to your party? God save me.
On this life, sir, you were mistakenly saying loan instead of grant, and on something private.
Oh yes.
And I was telling you like loan.
Yeah, I will go for grant any day. I will go for grant any day. Loan.
And you were like, oh yeah, I meant grant.
Loan. If I'm going to take loan, it has to be for some high net worth, some highly worthy, productive, and high yielding business initiatives, not for anything that I'm not sure of. I always develop this. Yes, I always come up with business ideas and plans. The ones I know would give me that yield, 100-fold, multiple-fold. I can borrow to get that going. But the ones that I know that this is service-oriented may not really be that bumpy in the returns they give. No, I would hesitate a bit. So this is where Nigeria is. For example, they mentioned trillions and what have you. What I'm always of the opinion that leaders, past and present, who negotiated these deals, who took possession of these monies that we're talking of, should be brought back to give account of what they use it for. Instead of saying, oh, the average Nigerian from birth is owing this much in terms of, yes, they know how to apportion the quantum of debt owed by each of us, even before we are born. But I'm saying, who were the people who went into all these deals? Call them back. Once they cannot show to us what that money was used to finance in the country, nothing tangible, nothing physical, let them go in for it. Because what Nigerians simply do is to take loans, they sit at table, butcher it, share amongst themselves, and then they say, see you later when it is another looting conference. It's a circle that is so disturbing and maddening.
Yeah. At this point, I'm convinced that some politicians are just sitting somewhere and they don't care about death. They don't care about, they just like,
no, see,
another loan and
Ola, and to our viewers all over the world. This is the second, this is the new stage of the rape of Africa. China, for all the photo trick, the photo op of Chinese leaders arresting people who are involved in corruption and fraud, and they only do that when people fall out with the ruling party there. But when it comes to looking, the script is not different. When it comes to imperialism, you stay where you belong. You stay in your dingy edifice somewhere.
It's the same issue. We're repeating the same thing. We're repeating. Unfortunately, it just looks too much like we're repeating the same mistakes.
Yes, it's China. The new look of the new imperialism in the world is China. Sometimes Russia. And Africans love to deceive themselves. Oh, Russia has never done this on the continent. They have done so much on the continent. And China now, what it does is the country encourages all kinds of authoritarian despotic leaders all over Africa.
Yeah.
And then we go there, go kiss the imperial ring. Oh, this is how much we can steal for you that we can share from our continent. So
I mean, if you're traveling over to come and beg us, to beg our business owners, our business magnates to see how they can help, what are we discussing? We're discussing how we can take more advantage of you. That's all. Of
your system. That is it. Your people, your system, you. And they don't think highly of African leaders, really. Yeah. And you know, Chinese people are very cunning. Yeah. So, and they won't lose one dime, and they will take everything from you.
It's like, what do you have? We have 200 million. We have 50 million youth. Okay, we're gonna go and plant this. This is what we want.
That's right.
Right. Okay, this is what we're gonna give you. Oh, you know what? We're gonna take 10% of share among our family. Okay. In addition to that, we'll give you some share in this company over here.
That's right.
They
will call it.
That's
they are funny. They are funny version of equity stake.
Yeah. Yeah. And they probably, hopefully not, but they probably will get all these things signed. But we have politicians that don't know what they're signing up for. And then
most times when they sign this, yes, you see all the controversies that is always trailing everything they sign, and they don't involve the people that ought to be involved. And then when they even involve people, they involve the nincompoops and all. I mean, the weaklings within the system, because those that can argue with them and let them see the foolery of what they are doing will never ever be brought on board. It's like that within the African system. Whether you are talking of the traditional village royal council or you're talking of the sophisticated state-run corporations and ministries and parastatals all over the country. That is what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, negotiations just, obviously they have all these debts and they have, like I was saying, but that it doesn't have to be that way. They just have to have very smart people that can negotiate well, that can identify the values that Nigeria and Africa represents for those people. If we don't have people that can properly identify and articulate those things, they will continue to fall for this, potentially for the next century.
Yeah, and Nigerian leaders groan. They complain about how Gary, cassava flakes, and what do you call this other thing? Vegetable oil and things that used to be even the hand-woven traditional material, ashoke, and dye and tie, the Kampala, Adire, and all those things. How they now come from China.
Yeah.
Well, yes, these are the ways they go there.
Already made natives on the internet.
That's right. All those things. These technologies, these our core African technologies are poached from the continent. It is a virtual giveaway to all these people. So wow. I hope the proper team is assisting Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this trip. Yeah. Yes, like I said, we don't know what it's about what they have told us, but in the past, there has always been a disconnect. There has always been disconnect between what Tinubu administration says they are abroad for, they are overseas for, and what we get. All the billions they said will come from Saudi Arabia. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for the Euro deals, everything. The ones they said Dubai has done. Dubai came back to embarrass Nigeria, saying nothing like that ever happened. Wow. So these ones they have said they are doing in China. China would always collaborate with them because China does not speak the truth. And we will continue to put this out there, whether their foreign killers are out to come after us or not. We don't care. And really, is the strength of who we are. You cannot silence every Nigerian at the same time. We will always speak up. It's our country, it's our land of birth. And for anybody to just think that wishy-washy deals will be packaged somewhere and be foisted on us, sorry about that. It won't happen easily like that.
All right, everybody, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. Help us share. And please feel free to join the conversation in the comment section. We appreciate you. We have some other stories. We'll be right back.